Let's say there's a destination you want to reach, and while we try to reach that, there are more struggles we face.
Okay.
Why do you think that life throws those struggles to you?
Imagine you're a sailor
Okay.
and you really want to go to a certain coast, right? So if you really want it from A to B to be 8 hours and the conditions aren't there, try to navigate the situation. If you try to go really hard, then a wave could hit you, the weather something could happen to the boat, right? So the thing is, yes, keep in mind your um, goal, but be aware that there are gonna be a lot of things that you won't be able to control. It's not that the life puts you those troubles, but it's kind of like how things are, right? So
Yeah. It also keeps me thinking because when you want to pursue something, you might not be the person to deserve that thing you want. So you become that person and you gain that thing. Does it make sense?
I start with the baseline, like if I want something and there are struggles, of course I will enjoy it more at the end. I don't know if uh I mean if there are no struggles, I will be super excited about what I mean.
Maybe we'll be bored having no struggles and everything. My life wouldn't be that much fun.
Yeah, I mean it might, or yeah, I mean again I think like if things go smoothly, that's a great. If things go hard and you were able uh to get to where you wanted, that's also great. If you found in the middle of the process that probably it wasn't for you, or probably it was a lot of a struggle to get those results, that's also good. I mean, it's kind of like you're maturing with the different experiences. So in my opinion, uh, yes, try hard. Yes, go for what you want, but always be attentive or be cautious of how are you feeling, if that's what you really want, how does that make you feel, and then take action if you want to change stuff. So it's kind of like being open to changes rather than say like this is what I want, so I'm going there. Like it's kind of like trying to, we were talking about adaptation, right? Probably we don't generate a lot of the emissions, but we need to adapt to certain circumstances that are happening around.
How do you feel about conversations? Because sometimes we just don't have those, maybe with family or business. How you feel about talks?
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I don't, sometimes our conversations sometimes are being afraid of being judged, or like social perception. What will people think if I do this or that? Uh, but I think always questioning the status quo and try to be out of the comfort zone. For example, and I want to use experiences to kind of like respond to the question. When I was at the city planning department, I was doing great job. I was creating impact. But asking me what else, like, is that correct? I don't know if it was a conversation. Probably it was a conversation with myself of saying like every certain time, kind of like a personal retreat, and saying like, where should I go? Is that like if I move here, where is it gonna take me? And of course, I didn't have the answers or the certainty, but trying something else, as I did with the Inter-American Development Bank, then I was called back for the position of directorship. So basically, yeah, kind of like always asking you and kind of do these personal retreats of where you want to go and ask your questions. It doesn't have to be the hard conversation with someone else.
And you always like thinking yourself and getting the answer that which one to pick, how to choose your path.
Exactly. Yeah. And do that often. So just to like a,
The thing is that mostly we don't think. We just go that, this is happening, just life goes by every day.
yes, or we overthink,
We overthink something.
right? So it will happen both ways. And yeah, but I mean, the good thing is being alert, right?
Okay. How do you react when you see that nothing is going for you, when you are at the bottom state? How do you feel that can get worse or you can make it better? How do you cope up with that situation?
Yes, I think your start of life, they always say like it's a roller coaster, right?
Yes.
And I will say like life in general, it happens to be like that way. So sometimes like you're having a bad time, right? Uh, or sometimes you're having a great time. So it's kind of like, you know that it is it is what it is. So it's like you're having a bad time. Well, there will be a good time. You know what I'm. So it's like just being easy. It's just being easy on you, and
Keep holding.
do not eternalize the bad moment and say, "Oh, everything is going bad," because most certainly it's gonna keep going that way. Just say like, okay, probably what can I do to make it better? But yeah, I mean, when I started my consulting firm after being the Department of City Planning director, there was a time within consulting because I was primarily offering my services to public sector, uh, and I didn't take into account that the public sector, they have calendar years where they have their budgets, where they have budgets to be approved, and where they have different processes for contracts. So what I did is basically took all the money of the company, use it in my basically for my salary.
Seriously, you did that?
Yeah. Because I was in my personal life. There, I had some some things happening basically. Uh, and then I wasn't prepared for those calendars where the public sector is not going to hire you until several months and all of that. So it's kind of like how can I pay rent? How can you pay your expenses? Stuff like that. In that moment, of course, I knew that things were gonna pick up at some point, but also it's the uncertainty of saying like, okay, how can I keep this going because it's not gonna be sustainable. So it's learning, of course, for the next year. Be prepared. If something happened in your personal life, you will need this or make this kind of like a special fund for those type of things or stuff like that. So again, I think trying to use these personal experiences,
Yeah.
that was an interesting time for sure. Yeah.
Okay. What significance do you think patience and mindset hold in taking people from where they are to where they want to be?
Again, I don't consider myself like yet kind of like
You achieve a lot of stuff, so I think
yeah.
patient.
I think patience, but also being proactive too. And again, be able to pivot. When I studied here, I thought like, okay, I have a lot of experience in transportation, so probably that's gonna be my track. And suddenly, with the pandemic and everything changed, and businesses pivot as well. They were selling this merchandise, and then COVID. Now we're selling this. So I think, yeah, patience, but also being proactive, and again, be
Having the mindset to do.
the mindset, but also be open to okay, what else, and try to be innovative. Um, yeah, I will say that those are the patience, but there's many more components. But patience for sure is one of the pillars.
Okay. Okay. I want to ask something. It's like, uh, we don't like the word manipulation, but in our sector, business and job, but we do like manipulate people. We call it like influence.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think is the threshold between influence and manipulation?
I think that's a great question. Actually, I will chat GPT. No, no, I think manipulative has the kind of like the obscure thing of kind of doing it in purpose, not providing full information. I believe, I don't know. Uh, and influence on the other end, I believe is like, okay, I have the information. How can I provide it? Or if you want to call it, how can I sell it in a way that um, things happen? And when we say you can have as an example, uh, and this is from the power broker, right? You can have Robert Moses. Okay, he started to gain power within government, and he started being influential, and in some cases using manipulative tactics as well, right? Uh, but if you look at the start of his career, things were going in a good direction, lots of parks, being influential. Then, as the name suggested, power broker, like the power maybe changed things at some point. So I think probably there is a fine line, and how you use the influence, it's when it can change to being manipulative, or when there's kind of like an obscure thing behind. But I think transparency, providing all the information to all the parties, that's influence.
Yeah, it was my last question. So this is
Amazing.
how you
Thank you so
felt.
much, Makin. I feel great. Yeah.
Thank you for coming, and it was wonderful to have a chat with you.
Thank you all. Thank you all, Porley.